This teacher essayed her 16-year-old student and no one thought there was anything wrong with it. She would dress inappropriately for school and even made her other students play lookout as she essayed this boy in her classroom during school hours. This is Hailey Clifton Carmack. Growing up, Hailey had a seemingly normal childhood. She was quite popular in high school. One could say that Hailey peaked in high school and she was just always stuck in like this teenager mindset. Hailey was always desperate for attention and especially from boys. She graduated high school in 2016 and while she was in college, Hailey met and started dating Chance Carmack. And when they started dating, Hailey was 21 years old and Chance was 17. They actually got married and pregnant with their first child when she was 21 and he was 17. And they had their second child when she was 23 and he was only 19. And at 24 years old in 2022, Hailey got her first teaching job, teaching math at Lakeway High School. And at first, students and her coworkers really liked Hailey. But very quickly, the overall atmosphere shifted. Hailey was definitely seen as the young, hot teacher, and she started getting a lot of attention from her male students. And remember, these are 14, 15, 16-year-old boys. But Hailey really liked this attention. When these students would flirt with Hailey, instead of shutting it down, she encouraged it, she played into it, she flirted back. And it got even worse when Hailey started wearing these really inappropriate outfits to work, to school. She's a teacher and she's wearing really revealing clothing, really tight clothing, low-cut tops. And apparently you could see everything. The male students actually began calling her the camel-toe teacher. At the start of her second year of teaching, Hailey is 25, about to turn 26 years old. She's the mother to two very young daughters and only 4 years into her marriage when she becomes extremely close with one of her students, a 16-year-old boy named James. His identity is not revealed to the public, so we're gonna call him James. And it really was not long into that school year that Hailey began to essay 16-year-old James. She was statutory essaying her underage student who's 10 years younger than her nearly every single day in her classroom after school. And then she would just go home and be a wife and mother. And as you can imagine, there were a lot of problems in her marriage with Chance. And Chance knew that there was something different in their relationship, that something changed, that they were having problems, but he just didn't know what it was. I'm sure he never imagined that it was that his wife was essaying a child. He did not find out about this yet, but he did end up filing for divorce. And now newly single, Hailey started acting like her 16-year-old student James was her boyfriend. And at this point, James is also bragging to his friends that he was sleeping with the hot teacher. He was actually bragging to his friends and classmates that their teacher left her husband for him because she told him that he was better in bed than her husband. Hailey was sending money to James, she was sending him inappropriate photos, all while being his teacher and while calling him her baby. How sick is that? She was also using James's friends that were also her students as lookouts while she essayed James in her classroom during school hours. How is she getting away with this and how is she so bold? It almost makes you think that this is not her first time preying on a child if you don't count that she met her husband when he was 17. But we're only like 2 months into the school year at this point. The relationship, I don't even want to call it that because this is not a relationship, but whatever's going on between Hailey and her 16-year-old students, it's only been happening for 2 months. And rumors were definitely spreading throughout school that there was something illegal going on between Hailey, Mrs. Carmack, and James. And poor 16-year-old James began to question his relationship with his teacher. So he actually turned to his father, Mark, for advice, and he told his dad everything that was going on. But Mark did not care that his 16-year-old son was being assaulted by his teacher. But I bet he would care if it was his 16-year-old daughter with a male teacher. He actually told his son James that if he was going to sleep with his teacher, that he would rather him do it at his house so he could keep an eye on them. I'm sorry, what? So now 16-year-old James's dad is inviting his teacher to come into his home and essay him. Mark is inviting an adult to come into his home to essay his underage child. Just imagine if the genders were reversed. And Mark was letting an adult male come into his home to knowingly essay his underage daughter. Well, by December of 2023, pretty much every student at Lakeway High School knew that there was something going on between Mrs. Carmack and James. And it was actually a student that went and reported it to the school. A child, a student, knows more about what's right and wrong than James's own father, Mark. Well, this was reported to the police, and the police got a warrant to look through Hailey's phone, and they found all the evidence that they needed. Hailey actually tried to flee the state, but she was arrested, and she was charged with 11 different really serious charges, and she was facing some really serious prison time. But all those charges were dropped. Again, you have to question, would the charges have all been dropped if this was a male teacher? She was given a plea deal, which she did take, and she pled guilty to a lesser charge and was given only 4 years in prison. 4 years for essaying an underage child multiple times. She'll be out by the time she's 30 years old. And as for James's dad, Mark, he was also given a plea deal and he did not get any prison time. And my heart really goes out for James as he recovers from all this trauma. I don't know how he could ever trust another adult again, because both his teacher and his dad completely failed him. Other male students celebrated James after all this came out. He was treated like some kind of god. He was given high fives as he went down the hallway. He was celebrated for being assaulted, for being statutory essayed. The double standard when it comes to male and female predators is absolutely mind-boggling to me that this is still happening in the years of like 2025. I'm interested to hear all of your thoughts in the comments, but while you're there, please, please, please be respectful. You don't know who could be in the comments. One day, Hailey's children could grow up, they could see what people say. James is obviously going to be seeing what people say about him. So please always be respectful. And while you're there, please let me know what case you want to see me cover next. Thank you to everyone that suggested that I cover today's case. I will see you guys all next time in my next video. And please, please, please be a good person to your fellow person.